Hello, hello. So my name is Pete Sala. I'm the author of a Percussionist Handbook, and today I'm actually doing a big retrofit of a tuning gauge on my 32 inch. I have a Ludwig Symphonic Pro drum, and for the longest time I've been using string gauges. So it's literally fishing line that has been. Hopefully, you guys can see this. Um, I think it's a 30-pound fishing line. What I do is I wrap it around a paper clip and then tape it to the underside of the toe of the pedal down here. So in other words, this is a little unsightly, but this is when you need to make your own gauge. And then I run it. I'm very careful to trace it in a way that's not going to be obstructed, and that I know how to reproduce how the string goes through this. And importantly, you have it go away from you first and then hang a fishing weight. In this case, this is, I forget exactly how many grams, but this is, the weight of probably at least 3/4 coins, like it's, I don't know, at least 20 grams, I would say. But heavy enough to always move whenever the pedal moves. And if you can see this, I'll turn this a little bit so you guys can see it. But you can see that when the pedal moves, the fishing weight moves, right? And what I did was I draped the string across and around the tension rods here, and I tape a piece of, in this case, masking tape or painter's tape along here, and I put it's very important that the indicator piece be flat. So I tape a piece of flat tape on it and then put a line so that you can basically have a reference point and label the pitches along here. And I've been using this on this drum for years because, as you guys probably know, you don't use tuning gauges quite as often on the 32 and also on the 23. Where you really, really need them, mission control, is on the 26 and the 29. However, I have an equipment rental coming up where the person hiring me has insisted that he definitely needs functional tuning gauges on all the drums because of the writing. Basically, it's one of these things where you're going to be handed the parts right then, and I fully understand you don't want to have like this mystery hanging over you of like, how much do I need to know the 32 that I'm playing on versus just use gauges that have been set up properly. So this tuning gauge, this fishing line tuning gauge, is no longer acceptable for this drum, and I'm using this as an occasion to install an aftermarket tuning gauge made by Repercussion. Tracy Furr is the person who manufactures this with DK percussion indicators on it. This thing feels super sturdy, and I actually have a video call in about a half an hour set up to where I'm going to go over this and install this on the drum, and I'm going to see if I can stream it or at least record it, so you get a sense of like what goes into this sort of thing. I got to take this head off. Whenever you take the head off of any timpano, you want to make sure that you have, because the indentation that the head makes, the crease that the head makes, is almost like a fingerprint. It's not. It's unique to the drum and the orientation of the head. So what I did was I put dots perfectly lined up with each tuning lug, and then each tuning lug is numbered. And in this case, I guess it would be the 7 o'clock lug is number 1. And then on the head, I also wrote a number 1. Every lug has a dot, but you only need to label one of them to know where each of them goes. So labeling the hoop, labeling the head, and then there's also labels on the inside of the bowl, just so that there's redundancy in place, so that when the head's removed and I do the work and I put I'm actually gonna have to remove the bowl as well, I believe. when I do the work and you put the head back on, it has to fit perfectly into the previous crease that was created by the tensioning of the head. And so that's a type of precaution that I want to engage in here. And no pun intended. Anyway, so this is, I have the tools laid out here. I have a few wrenches, a screwdriver, there's the gauge, and then there is the linkage that's for the inside part of the drum. So this should be an interesting experience, and hopefully not too many four-letter words get thrown around. And if this is the type of stuff that you like, you want to make sure that you keep following the Percussionist Handbook content. All kinds of stuff. Basically anything that really makes you use your brain in conjunction with your musicianship is what I'm interested in. Anyway, I'll see you later, and hopefully with a 32 that's much more pedal friendly. Take care.